In this video, we head out to Joshua Tree National Park on the maiden voyage of our new four-wheel pop-up camper named Rose. We explore some of the park's back roads, make biscuits and pizza in the camp oven, take a hike to Barker Dam, and spend lots of hours in the camper playing Yahtzee before we decided to come back a day early with some unrelenting wind. Buckle up and come along for this weekend's adventure. We're Brian and Emily Whitley, and we love exploring new places together. With full-time professional jobs, we are self-proclaimed weekend warriors who try and fit in as much adventure as we can. Whether on a backpacking trail to a remote destination or overlanding in our 2021 Tacoma, we love getting outside. We're here to share that it is possible to balance a work schedule and find time to see the world in a variety of different ways.
Follow along on our Taco Roamer adventures.
With campgrounds opening back up after the California shutdown order, we jumped on the opportunity to get a last-minute reservation at Jumbo Rocks Campground in Joshua Tree National Park. We stayed here a few months ago for the first time and instantly fell in love with the diverse scenery this park offers. From whimsical Joshua trees and giant boulder mounds to a vast desert landscape that seems to have no end. We arrived at our campsite late Friday afternoon and spent some time setting up our new camper. In total, it took no more than 5 minutes after some leveling of the truck on leveling blocks, and we were on our way. This was a huge improvement considering what we are used to with tent camping. We quickly cheersed a beer to celebrate our new camper and got a fire going. The next morning, we woke up around 6 a.m. to catch an epic sunrise and make it to the trailhead for Barker Dam before it was too busy. We heard this can be a really busy trail, but we're glad to see there were only 3 other cars in the parking lot when we arrived just after 7. The trail is a super easy 1.5-mile hike, but winds you through some beautiful landscape in that short distance, eventually reaching what I would imagine would be a really cool little lake when there is water around. You can see the dam that was constructed over a century ago by ranchers who were looking to create a sustainable water source in the desert. We didn't find any water here, but did continue on to the petroglyphs you'll come across shortly down the trail. Unfortunately, vandals have traced over the petroglyphs with paint over the years, which takes away from what would be a really amazing historical site. After our morning hike, we headed back to camp to make some sourdough cheddar biscuits in the camp oven.
This is how we're going to make bread. Biscuits.
Brian made this awesome insulator out of, what is this, welding?
Well blanket.
Well blanket? And some heat-resistant thread.
Yep.
And then in here, we've got our rack and then a pizza stone on it so that it won't burn. Biscuits coming up next. Got some sourdough cheddar biscuits. Brian made the dough before we left home with his famous sourdough starter.
Don't know how this is going to turn out. Just be really dense bread.
Oh, perfect. Oh, yeah. Great. 350.
Feels like an oven.
Bye-bye. Oh, yes.
Not bad. Cheese made them sticky.
Oh my gosh, it's the big one. what might have been some of the best biscuit sandwiches I've ever had, we took off down Geology Tour Road to explore some of the park's lesser accessible areas. We were so pleased with how the truck and the camper handled on these sandy roads. We got back to camp early in the afternoon and could feel the winds starting to pick up. By now, it was about 2 in the afternoon and ramen was calling our name, as well as a good excuse to try out the stovetop in the camper. It soon became apparent that an afternoon of Yahtzee and beverages was in our future due to the wind. It was too windy to start a fire, but never too windy to stay cozy in our camper and play a few or 10 fierce games. For the record, I won. Windy night in Joshua Tree has us inside, so what better thing to do than make pizza in the new Coleman oven? You got that cheese coming along, B?
Cheers!
Cheers. And here's our oven set up on the stove. Almost ready to go. That is like cooking. Almost at 400. After a crazy night of howling wind and little sleep, and no relief in the forecast, we decided to make a game time decision. Ready to go home? Last night was brutal. Winds were horrible all night long. Probably some of the worst I've ever been in camping. So even though we planned on staying another day through Monday, I think we're gonna go home and rescue the puppies. What do you think, Brian?
Puppy time.
Puppy time. Happy Valentine's Day. On our way out, we decided to head south and exit at Cottonwood Springs. On the way, we took a side trail and headed up Black Eagle Vine Road.
Airing down to make the ride a little softer on these washboard roads.
This is a 20-mile round-trip road that takes you through some washes and vast scenery. It was also another good excuse to test out rows on a 4x4 trail.
Airing up. So we aired down when we got out here. It's a washboard road. It's really rough on everything. It's also better for traction. There's a lot of sand, and we did a little bit of off-roading. So now we're airing back up. You don't want to be underinflated on the highway because you risk blowing your tires. So that's what we're doing now. Airing back up. Gonna go get some hamburgers.
Although it was supposed to be a 3-night trip that turned into 2 because of the wind, we really felt like we got a great opportunity to connect with our new pop-up, even if we were forced to spend a little bit more time in it than we had originally planned. If you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up below and subscribe to our channel to follow along on our next big adventure with Rose.